Okay, we hope we're back out again. We're not sure what everyone caught. We're having some internet issues here at Aquinas. But let's roll with this. We were talking about the business directory. Casandrinos Olive Oil is one of the businesses we're spotlighting on AQ Evermore. It's a great opportunity for you to spotlight your business. And if you're on AQ Evermore with Casandrinos Olive Oil, they have an offer for Aquinas families up to 50%. So please utilize AQ Evermore. Share that with your friends. It's an important piece for that connection and engagement that we're striving to do. Okay? All right.
Okay.
It's been a great day.
It has been.
All right. We've had the 100 Days Mass. This morning, our seniors were dismissed by the bishop.
It was great to see them running out. So excited.
Yeah.
Heard them beeping horns on the way out. Really cool tradition.
And we've got, it's St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
But now it's time for the real treat.
Oh, I feel like I need a drum roll.
We should have a drum roll.
We should. We'll talk to our production people.
Let's play the intro video for our next guest, who needs no introduction. And here we are in the midst of Aquinas royalty with Mr. Jerry Maguire, AQ class of 1953. How you doing, Jerry?
Very good, Jovi.
It's great to have you here.
It's good to be here.
How are you spending your time these days?
Doing nothing.
Nothing?
Yes, that's great to hear.
I make a list out every night of things to do. I get up in the morning and cross everything off.
There you go.
How many grandkids do you have? You spend time with your grandkids, don't you?
Yes, 9.
9 grandkids. How do you punish them?
Don't.
You don't?
It's not my job.
Do you ever have, like, jug with your grandkids?
No.
You don't?
Just my wife.
That's funny. Jerry, I don't know if you know this. I feel like, I don't know, are you the Justin Bieber? Are you the Prince Edward of Aquinas? I don't know what equivalent you are, because everyone knows you. Hashtag AQ Shamrock Week out there for all of you. Come up with the equivalent of what Jerry Maguire is to Aquinas. Is he the Michael Jordan of Aquinas? I don't know what it is, but if you come up with a good one, Lisa and I see them, I'm going to give you a sweatshirt from the bookstore, because we've got to put some sort of label
We do.
on you for that. Do you know how much you mean to the Aquinas community,
I
Jerry?
think he's the Jerry Maguire.
He is the
Aquinas,
Jerry Maguire.
You know?
I mean, we posted on that you were coming, and I've got some of the Facebook posts here. The GOAT, you know what that is?
The GOAT.
When they call you a GOAT? Greatest of all time.
Didn't realize it.
Yeah. Will he see me? And more importantly, will he make me serve the jugs that I owe him?
Still got the records, probably.
Legend. Is it weird he still frightens me a bit? I already feel like I have to put on a uniform and be on my best behavior. Heart, 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 Mr. Maguire.
Aw.
Very interesting.
Jerry.
I don't know who those people are. You didn't give any names.
One of them was
okay, I'm
Sissy
sorry.
Bell.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We don't want to get anyone in trouble. Believe me, I'm going to ask you some questions on that. But we talk about how important you are to the Aquinas community. This week, we're really seeing it. So let's use Marty Kennedy for an example. He puts up a challenge of $15,000, right? We've already matched that. I got a call this morning, Jerry, when you were out of my office. Phil and Ann Wegman feel so strongly.
I was just talking to their granddaughter. Just met her.
Haley?
Haley, probably?
And Jay's son.
Okay, yeah. So they feel so strongly about what you've done for their kids, they've actually given $15,000 in your honor for today.
That's amazing.
It speaks volumes. I got emotional. I'm going to get emotional now, thinking about how much you mean to Aquinas. It's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Special.
You are so special to this place. Gets me thinking, though. Everyone knows who Jerry Maguire is.
The sheriffs, police, everybody.
Who was Jerry Maguire's Jerry Maguire when you were in school?
Father Riley.
Was he the dean of students like you were?
Yes, he was, and a very tough man.
Okay.
Very strong and wonderful priest.
So you modeled yourself after him, or did you say, you know what, I can do this job better? So after 4 years, you showed up and said, I'm going to do this better.
No, I didn't model myself after anybody. I just happened to fall into the job by accident. I didn't plan on taking it or didn't interview for it, and the rest is all just.
So you just showed up one day and they were like, hey.
Get up every day and try to do the best you can.
Well, let's be realistic, Jerry. You earned that job more than I did. My mom got me my job, so they saw something in you back then.
And your mother was a wonderful person.
Thank you.
She evidently did some good for you, too.
She did a lot of good for me, so thank you. Thank you. Who's the worst student of all time at Aquinas?
Other than me? I don't know. I have no idea about that, and really don't care because everybody was a good kid. They all have been and all still are.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Dave Morganti, I was talking to him yesterday. He's the one that made the nice donation in your honor, and he talks about how you changed his life, and I know there's a lot of people that feel that same way.
He's not in jail, is he?
He is not in jail. He's actually doing very well for himself down in Virginia. He's got 4 kids.
Great.
So yeah, he's doing very well. What was the best senior prank that you can remember? Best senior prank of all time, Jim?
Okay. I think I even know who did it. There was a chicken let loose on the 3rd floor, caused some consternation around. And there was another one which was really bad. Somebody went to, I think it was Ward's Scientific, and got a whole mess of crickets and let them loose. We had to close the stairwell down. And
I was working here then. Yeah, I was working here then too. I remember that.
That was brutal. That was a mess. Those are the 2 that come to my mind right now.
Interesting.
That's funny. I feel like your class, Lisa, in 97, those kids almost talked me into giving them my keys to be able to get into school. That wouldn't have gone over too well.
Yes, I think I remember
Probably
that.
the best decision I made. That would have been a short-lived tenure here. Now, Lisa,
I, of course, was not involved in that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Now, Lisa and I have some questions here
Okay.
for Jerry. But if you all have questions out there, we're monitoring the chat bar on the screen. So I've got Lucas Sharon out there checking. So he may bring some in to me if you have certain questions for Mr. McGuire.
Well, now it's time for the.
One more.
Oh, sorry, one more.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Was there ever a kid you punished and then realized later that they were innocent, and what'd you do?
I have no memory of that. And if I did, I wouldn't say anything. And I would try to forget it. No, there's no question I made mistakes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I can't recall any specific
All right.
mistakes.
Well, now it's time for the AQ5.
Uh-oh. Here we go. You ready for these, Jerry?
Sure. Shoot.
So, when you were a student, what were you involved in at Aquinas?
Okay. I was in the band. I actually got thrown out of the band
Uh-oh.
for making a wise remark, and I was a wise guy.
Do you remember what the remark was?
Yes, I do, but I would not care not to repeat
We're going to
it.
break the internet again?
I was involved in sports, basketball, baseball.
Nice.
I was also part of what they call the publicity club.
What was that?
Not the club, the staff. There were 5 or 6 seniors that helped Father Carter, the athletic director, in putting out publicity mostly for the football team.
Oh.
Okay.
Involved in the mission bouts, not as a participant, but as a student manager of it.
Okay.
So really, you were an early Joby, ahead of recruitment here.
No one could ever emulate him. No way.
True.
I'm not sure if that's a thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a
Well, let those people be the judge of that.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, when you played football, your games were at Old Aquinas Stadium, right?
I never played
Aquinas
football
Memorial?
here.
Oh, I thought you said you did. Okay.
No,
Oh, he
no.
just helped.
No, I was on the publicity
Gotcha.
staff.
Okay.
I played a little football afterwards
Gotcha.
in the service and for a team called the Rochester Rockets.
Okay. What position did you play?
I was a running back and a linebacker, and it helped bring the water out too.
Where were those games played?
At Edgerton Park
Okay, I wondered if that's what.
and and Aquinas Stadium.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So you did play in Aquinas Stadium.
Yes, I did, but that was after I got out of Aquinas.
Okay. When you were playing football, were you also working here?
No,
Okay.
no. I was actually going to St. John Fisher. I was in
Okay.
college.
Nice.
And after you left Aquinas, you said you went in the service. What branch?
No, I went to college first and then went in the service,
Okay.
the Marine Corps.
Okay. How many years were you in the Marine Corps?
3
Okay.
years.
Excellent. All right.
Can you share? Oh, we have a question. Live question.
There you go.
Lucas, you want to read it?
Sure. Papa.
Luke, here. You can use my mic.
What is your favorite memory of AQ? Hashtag the original Jerry Maguire, hashtag the OG.
You know what OG is?
No.
It's you, Jerry.
Oh.
I think it's original gangster, but I think it's original Jerry.
That's
The
so
original
funny,
Jerry.
Dina Schulmerich, if I said that correctly. That was going to be my
Schulmerich.
next question.
Oh, perfect.
Was what is one of your favorite memories at AQ?
Okay, there are an awful lot of them. A lot of them were resurrected this morning just being here. I don't know whether I have a favorite one or not, to be
Just
honest
one
with
of
you,
them.
just a whole mess of them.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I remember distinctly, you talk about senior pranks. This really wasn't a senior prank, but I kind of admired the people that did this, and I felt sorry for the teacher. They took his car and lifted it up and moved it out of the parking lot in between the back of the gym. There were 2 cement entrances that were never used, and they somehow got the thing wedged in there. It was one of those foreign cars, one of the first small ones. I still feel bad for the teacher.
It was 19.
But
It was 90. Do you remember who was involved with it?
no, I don't know who did it, but
I believe R.O.J. Bolson was involved in that.
I don't know. But it was some feat, I tell you, to move that car. I mean, they lifted it up.
Wow.
I've heard of that story. That's outstanding.
Analytical thinking skills,
Yeah.
strategic planning,
Did anyone get
all
punished for
skills.
it?
Nobody.
No one knew?
No one knew who did it.
Oh, wow.
That I know of. I mean, I never
For the
found
days
out.
of Ring and
Yeah.
outside cameras.
We've got another one that's in here.
Pat O'Donnell, our matching gift
Yeah.
from yesterday,
Yep,
would like
class-
to know, class of 77, what does Aquinas mean to you?
Well, it means an awful lot. I really can't go anywhere without something reminding me of it,
True.
especially the people you see and the friendships I've made with the teachers, my classmates, and the people that were students there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I know you don't like when I was saying, Aquinas legend and stuff, but it is so hard for me to go anywhere, talk to alum, talk to anyone who doesn't ask about you.
That's true.
You're so well known.
The last person was asking questions about me was a funeral director.
Now the most important question of the AQ5. What was your favorite lunch here at AQ?
You know, most of the times I hated lunch because I was not sitting down and eating it. I was
Right.
walking around and dodging French fries.
The fries are good.
I really don't know. You know, lots of times I used to take a half-hour break after lunch and go to Wegmans and get a sub
There you go.
Okay.
and eat it in
That's
my.
right. There was Wegmans over on Driving Park.
And the food,
Oh, that's
the food
right.
was good here. I thought, you know,
Yeah.
the times I
needed a
ate it was
minute.
always good. And the people that worked there were great.
When you were in the cafeteria, you remember Chubbs, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mr. Blount. He always made me cringe when he'd slap kids.
He's-
What was your take on that? Were you like, oh man, he's so lucky?
I never saw him hit anybody. You know, what's a good question is, everybody knows him. I'll bet you 95% of the people that know him never knew and still don't know his last name.
Cervola.
Servola. Yeah.
Cervola. Yeah, and he did not go to AQ, correct? He's just
No, I think he went to Jefferson.
from the neighborhood.
Matter of fact.
Yeah, because I think didn't he live over on Clay?
Somewhere right down here
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
But he was he was an usher also
Yeah,
at
that's
all
right.
the sporting events, and everybody knew him from there.
Right.
Just a great guy. I remember, I think he worked for a dairy. And I can remember seeing him here at practice for football when Harry Wright and Mickey Connolly and Hung Vadis were coaching. And that was in the late 40s.
Okay.
So he was around.
And that, I mean, he wasn't in the cafeteria then because he was still working, but 3:30, 4 o'clock, you'd see him out in the back field.
Okay.
So next question of the AQ5. How did Aquinas prepare you for life?
Well, certainly most of the things that I've done, I have to attribute to the influence that I got from here. Not only here, but Fisher, the priests and the lay teachers and the nuns all had an influence. And it's very difficult to pinpoint things as they happen. Sometimes you have a flashback and can connect, but you just have to admit and admire and thank the opportunity to be here all these years.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of what we hope to do at Aquinas. I mean, they had an influence on you. You, in turn, returned back to Aquinas and have had an influence on so many people. How many total years were you here?
35.
35.
So let's see. These math questions are tough.
I'm sorry.
It's Mrs. Knapp, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, 65 to 2000.
Okay.
Is that 35?
That is 35.
Oh, you got a
my
calculator there. That's why.
Before you were Dean of Students, what did you teach?
I taught English for a couple of years, and then I was in the business department, accounting, business law, business math, personal law. And I got involved when the computers first came out, and I kind of team taught that. I did a little bit of the history of computers, which was nothing really back then.
Very short course.
We had to talk about punch cards. That's how old it was.
yeah. Now, when you team taught that, who'd you team teach it with?
The other people, I don't know. I
Just
can't
that-
remember
just a
who they were.
collective group. The other part of the team.
Yeah, there were
So
two.
you- oh, sorry, go
no,
ahead.
that was another course we taught. Jack Ling, myself, a guy named Jim Perry taught a thing called, it was called personal law.
Okay.
And we taught all kinds of things like buying a car, real estate, insurance, the stock market, and we used to alternate. We'd take each one of us had a different topic.
Okay.
That was a good course.
Nice.
Talked about the draft in the military. Well, it's quite a while ago.
Yeah.
We weren't talking about the heating system, we're talking about the military.
So if you could go back to your senior self in 1953, what would you tell yourself? What advice would you give yourself?
I would have said, wake up, start getting serious about life. I didn't know where I was going, what I was going to do, and hadn't thought about it much. Very immature. Still am.
That's great advice.
That's awesome, Jerry. All right, we're going to have you stick around with us as we wrap up the show. You okay with that?
I certainly am, but I'm going to get a cup of coffee before I leave.
Oh, most definitely.
Always.
I thought you didn't like the other cup of coffee
I
gave you.
didn't. I'm going to try and get some
We'll
other
try
coffee
something
somewhere.
else.
Okay.
It's because you got it. That's the problem.
I'm not a coffee drinker, so yeah.
Wow.
I wouldn't turn to me for coffee.
We'll
that
hit,
was your fault.
we'll hit the
Yeah,
faculty
it
lounge.
is. I apologize.
Jerry, we do really appreciate you being here. So
I
this
thank
is
you
great.
for having me, and
It's awesome.
this is a great thing you guys have put together, and God bless everybody out there. Wonderful people.
That's
Thank you.
awesome. You know they all think so highly of you.
My biggest problem right now is trying to remember where I parked my car.
I'll help you
Well,
find
hopefully
it.
it's not in
I'll
between
help you
two
find it.
concrete
No, I know.
blocks.
I hope nobody moved it. Yeah.
We'll check the 2 concrete blocks before we check anywhere else. Well, we got
Oh,
one
we
more
got
question
one
before
final
we find out.
question.
Ooh, a
Oh,
couple.
two. So a question from Travis Beaver. I believe the Crickets was my class, 1998. Someone also set off a smoke bomb in the cafeteria, and we didn't eat lunch that day.
Were there many food fights? Do you recall?
A couple, yeah.
I don't recall many since I've been here.
One guy made the All-American team because he was a good thrower of food.
Oh, there you go.
I do remember.
There weren't a lot, 2 or 3. But
Another question, what was your favorite AQ tradition?
It's a good one. Who's admitted that one?
Don't know. Maybe,
Oh, okay.
maybe Travis also.
Oh, okay.
I tell you what, I always liked, as a student here and as a teacher, I liked the alma mater, certainly,
Yes.
but they also had a fight song. Got to be
Oh,
careful what
yeah.
you say about that nowadays, but it was really a pep song, is that correct? And those were good things that I remember.
Do you remember what the pep song is? Can we get you to sing it?
What, with my voice? What do you think, I'm Pavarotti or somebody?
And then we got one more.
One was March on Aquinas, soon the victory will be won.
Okay.
Fight is won and one for all, Aquinas must win. March down the field, boys, soon the victory will be ours. Fight, fight, fight for dear Aquinas till the end. Something like that.
Love it. Love it.
And what?
Jim Ferris resurrected that when he was
Okay.
here.
Oh,
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
I'll have to get the
But I
advance
mean,
choir on that.
it never caught on, but I mean, he went back and dug up the music for it.
Okay.
Speaking of music, perfect segue. Question about what's your favorite musical artist or type of music?
Jazz,
Really?
standards. I like, all kinds of music. Today, you gotta like Irish music. I got
Today. Yeah.
a lot of Irish music I've got myself, and but I like jazz.
Okay. Your favorite musician?
Not really. I like small groups, mellow piano, guitar, bass. I like singers, Joe Williams. Right now, there's a whole mess of people that I listen to still.
Nice.
There's a program on Sunday mornings, and I think it's WXXI, the Great American Bandstand, or the guy has been on for years, and he plays great jazz.
Okay. That's great.
Wait a minute, not WXXI. The radio station that broadcasts out of Greece,
I'm not sure.
Arcadia.
You would think our former mass media teacher would know that right off the top of his head.
It's a FM, 90.1, that's it, yeah.
All right.
Art Areno,
Ted Mancini to the rescue. Nice.
he says
There's a-
last time
Ted Mancini was a good musician, too.
he time he saw you, Mr. McGuire, was when you were the bouncer at PG's in East Rochester and you didn't let him in.
Art Arena's his father had a plumbing business, I believe. I remember Art.
Well, he didn't get
And,
into PG's that day.
I did work there part-time to supplement my income, but I really wasn't a bouncer. I was
Oh.
just there kind of like a floor supervisor one night a week,
Oh,
because I knew the fellas that owned it.
Okay.
And I,
just kept things under control.
at that time, they had a lot of college kids coming in there, and they had somebody working the door checking their ages.
Okay.
I even turned down 3 or 4 sheriffs one night. They tried to get in, show me their badge, and I wouldn't let them in because you had to have a license. So,
Took that job just as seriously as Dean of Disciplinary
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
Institute. We expect nothing less.
That's right.
Nothing less. You have something else?
So Holly Dutcher reports a food fight in 2004, and
Okay.
Jenny Dede says that Mr. McGuire is a staple, a strong part of the building and the tradition of excellence that we have here at Aquinas.
now, that's her married name, is it
Yeah,
not?
Jenny Camilio,
Yes, and her
Jenny-
brother,
class of '96.
Yep.
her
brother was a
brother and
football
father,
player.
Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad's a graduate too.
Now,
Yeah,
wasn't her brother helping with the football coaching?
yeah, Danny is. He still is. He
Danny.
saw him the other day.
Nice.
Yep.
Father's a good golfer.
Really?
I'm pretty sure he plays at Midville.
Do you still play?
Very little.
Okay.
Played 9 holes last year, 1 day a week, but it's, just laughing, that's all.
That's good.
Hey, it's good to get out there.
Certainly not a golfer.
That is the one thing I think people don't know about you is they see you just as the dean of discipline, is how funny you are and how much. I remember my first year here. It was class of '95. I remember walking up the North Stairwell with Nick Valentino,
Nick,
and
yeah.
he said to me, he goes, "Mr. Knapp, are you scared of Mr. McGuire?" And again, I knew you from my mom and everything. Nicest guy in the world. I'm like, it's the most ridiculous question ever. I'm definitely afraid of that guy.
Nick had a brother, I think, Rudy. Oh, wait a minute, there was 2 Valentino families.
Joe.
Yeah. Nick was part of with Tad, Joe, and Christian.
The father was a judge?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And the other one was Rudy. And what the heck was his younger brother's name? I'm not sure that they were related or not.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It's amazing though how much you still remember for all these years.
Like I told you, I'm worried about the car.
Listen,
We're going to find it. Jay's not here today, so we're probably in a good spot.
Yeah, it's probably safe. Posted on here. All right. We ready to find St. Thomas
Yep.
Aquinas? Did you know where it was,
Let's
Sherry?
see.
Did you see where it was?
No, I wasn't looking for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think
Where
he's
is
looking
he
for
in
me
the
either.
building today?
Oh, he originally was right there by the auditorium, wasn't he?
Where in the building is St. Thomas Aquinas? Where in the building is St. Thomas Aquinas? Where in the building is St. Thomas Aquinas?
If you think you know where St. Thomas Aquinas is today, please go under the challenges tab and submit your guesses so that we can enter you into the drawing for the gift basket this afternoon at 3 o'clock.
For our 3 o'clock show. And please keep sharing on social media, hashtag AQ Shamrock Week. Visit aqshamrockweek.com, which you already are because you're watching this, but encourage AQ evermore. Sign-ups to your friends, classmates. It's such a wonderful platform. We're loving connecting with all of you, and we just had another question. come
Mona
in here.
Sharon, Lucas's
Sharon.
mom.
Oh, okay.
Who are your
Mona ran
favorite
11.
teachers as a student?
Okay, I got the one that comes to mind is a nun, Sister Stanislaus. She was a St. Joseph nun, taught math. I had a homeroom teacher and taught religion at the time, Father O'Leary. Actually, that would be about a 20-way tie.
Oh,
I liked a lot of teachers. A lot of them didn't like me, but and rightly so. But
I guess that's how you learn, right?
a lot of admiration for all of them.
Yeah, they do great things here in Aquinas. Continue to.
Father Biondi, of course, I never had him for teacher, but he was here in the staff.
Do you have any advice for teachers today?
Work hard, that's all. Try to listen. Times are tough. I tell you what, I don't know as to whether I'd be able to handle this personally, this with the kids not being in front of you, because it's the most dynamic thing about a classroom, I think.
That's one of the things we've been blessed to have is
Yep.
to be able to be on campus here because we understand the importance. I mean, that's the importance of Aquinas.
It's amazing what you've done.
Yeah.
Ted, you, Cookie, everybody.
Yeah, done a great job.
Very impressed with what I've seen today. Very impressed.
We're
That means
impressed
a
with what
lot.
we've seen today from you.
Good.
Lisa, what do we have coming up at 3?
We got a lot of exciting things. We have Sister Julie Vieira, class of 90. She's going to share with us how she used her Aquinas experience in her life after leaving the doors.
Oh, can I ask a question about
Oh, yeah.
Sister Julie? I feel like, do you remember her? I feel like if someone's...
I
if
know
she's
the
gonna be a
name. I know
sister,
that name very well.
She probably
Probably
didn't get
wasn't-
in trouble.
yeah.
I always feel like if they didn't get in trouble, they weren't on your radar.
You know, if I had some yearbooks, by the way, I found out the yearbook, they publish it every year now.
They do.
Did you know that?
I did, yeah.
Amazing what you find out. Now, if I had some yearbooks, you know, I would go back and look at it. I probably will when I go home, the ones I got.
Yeah.
I tell you, one of the things that I look at a lot is the directory that was put out by the alumni office, where everybody filled things out, and they have a list of all the people that graduated up to a certain year. I don't know when that is,
Okay.
but it's
Yeah.
a good resource.
It's a great resource.
Yeah.
Great resource.
Absolutely. We're also going to have Meredith Kalfels from our enrollment office. She's going to give us an update on how we're looking for enrollment this year.
Yep.
We're going to have our drawings for our 3 gift baskets.
Yep, make
That's
sure you
going to be at
take
3
part.
o'clock.
Yep, make sure you take part in wearing St. Thomas Aquinas on aqshamrockweek.com.
Yep, keep sharing your posts. Keep registering for AQ Evermore. And we'll see you at 3 o'clock.
Jerry, we can't thank you enough
We
for
can't.
being here.
Thank
you
got
so
some
much.
texts. People are watching. They love it. You just, people love you. You
I mean,
just
we broke the
elicit
internet
such
twice.
emotion. You did break the internet
Yeah,
twice.
I mean,
Well,
It knew. It knew you what was coming.
powerful.
that's my good luck. But I want to thank you guys, all of you, the whole staff, everything. And once again, thanks to all the people that are watching and contributing. This building and the grounds, the whole plan is amazing. Not only physically, but the people that are in it. Thank you for the memories today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry. Thank you, Jerry.
Go AQ.
All right. Thanks for joining us.